Hello, friends. Do you have a moment so that we may discuss our Lord and Savior Minarchy? No, seriously, I'm just kidding. Hi, my name is Rick Robinson. I am the general manager of KLRNradio.com. We are probably the largest independent podcast network that you've never heard of. We have a little bit of everything, and by that, what I mean to tell you is we have news, pop culture, special events, conspiratainment, true crime, mental health shows, drama productions, and pretty much everything in between. So if you're looking for a new podcast home to grab a little bit of everything that you love all in one place, come check us out. You can find us on X under @KLRNradio. You can find us on our Rumble and our YouTube channels under the same names. You can also find us at KLRNradio.com and pretty much every podcast catcher known to man. So again, feel free to come check us out anytime you like at KLRNradio.
Remember when entertainment was actually entertaining? When comedy was about being funny, movies were about telling great stories, and you didn't need a political lecture every time you hit play. Great entertainment still exists, it's just getting harder to find. Even the biggest streaming platforms leave audiences disappointed. That's why there's Studio TST, pure entertainment, real comedy, independent films, bold creators, movies, comedy, music, and more. And the home of fearless sketch comedy. That show tonight, entertainment the way you want it. Funny, creative, unapologetic, and agenda-free. Studio TST, the future of entertainment starts here. Join Studio TST today for just $5 a month.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
We've got answers. We've got time. We've got theories that sound just fine. We've read the room. We've skimmed the page. Been wrong before, but never afraid. We'll tell you why. We'll tell you when. We'll tell you how. Again and again. We've got the tone. We've got the flair. We didn't ask, but we're still there. Men explain. Poorly you move.
Well, happy not Monday day, ladies and gentlemen. I am Rick Robinson. We are currently in Missing Man formation because the Amish one is off doing his civic duty and playing pole worker. But I am joined so far by, yes, that V Charles, otherwise known as Vincent Charles, or VC Diddy Mount Fugazi. And how's things with you, VC? How's things?
Everything is wonderful. I stayed off of Twitter today and I feel fabulous.
You lucky sumbitch.
It's amazing. It's amazing what one day away from that place can change your entire outlook on life.
Yeah, I actually stayed away for a couple of days because, I've had a death in the family. Wasn't really feeling it, but I've decided, starting yesterday, I was like, you know what? I got to dive back in. And technically, my aunt didn't even pass away until last night, but I knew it was. micro drop, so you guys should be coming back on right about now.
Okay.
I was like, what the hell was that? Anyway, but yeah, so we're here. We also have Delaney, who up until a few minutes ago was in an area where Mother Nature was playing the part of, the mommy dearest, but he's with us now. So how's things, Delaney? How's things?
Howdy ho. Can't see Mr. Hanky anymore. My voice is shot. Just gazing upon the ruins of my backyard from Mother Nature's tantrum, and got a lot of work to do tomorrow, gentlemen, but it's all good.
Yeah, I wasn't sure you were gonna be able to make it because I know it's like as soon as I started posting everything, you were like, "Oh shit, we've got hail," and for some reason I heard the "we've got hail" part in CompuServe. I don't know what happened there, but yeah.
Fair. Well, we're good. It's actually it's the quiet after the storm. It's all good. All good.
But yeah,
Nice
so
glass of
wait,
whiskey.
a glass of what? I stepped on you. What you got? What you got tonight?
whiskey. Actually, no, I'm
nice.
sorry. It's bourbon. Close enough. I got more.
No, you have to say it like Bogart. He says Bourbon.
Bourbon.
Bourbon and sausages.
I don't know. I'm kind of in a Bogart mood tonight because I started watching Spider Noir today. So
I look forward to watching that.
You could do a lot worse. Seriously.
And then Amazon pissed me off, but we'll get to that later.
Oh.
But anyway, so the main topic for tonight, for those of you that are new around here, we usually try to stay on topic for about 15, 20 minutes. And the main topic tonight is, interestingly enough, if you look at the numbers, I found an interesting correlation. So the question for tonight is, did the death of masculinity also kill patriotism? And it kind of fits depending on, if you look at the numbers, because there's still a lot of patriotism with certain groups. As you can see, I have the numbers on the screen right now for those of you that can see it. Patriotism by party, Republicans are still 92% patriotic. To me, that number still seems a little low, but, it is what it is. Independents are 53%. Then there's Democrats, 36%. Now, what that was is this is about a year-old data. I couldn't find anything newer. But the question they asked was, are you either somewhat proud or very proud to be an American? Was the question they asked. And it was two separate questions, but when they added those two things together, those were the numbers that they came up with. So 36% of Democrats still like the country. Interestingly enough, I find that an interesting correlation because the party that still knows what men and women are actually still like the country. Kind of surprised me.
Yeah, we're also a lot more happy, well-adjusted, sexually gifted, left-handed, drunkards.
This is true. Well, I mean, the patriotic crowd have been drunkards since our inception. We talked about this a couple of
Absolutely, that farewell party for George Washington. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
That fucking bar tab. Holy shit, man!
And it's funny because when I was doing CPAC on a regular basis, there was actually a group that put together what they called the Unsustainable Bar Tab Party. And that was fun too. We also have our alien friend on that channel. I think BZ just noticed his name.
I get BC every Sunday night with a unique name.
Oh, you motherfucker. I love you. Oh, Jesus. Oh,
so welcome into the show, Jeff. How are things with you, sir?
Shitty, but hey, we're here.
I can relate, but I decided I got to do my shit anyway. So we started kind of diving in a little bit, but I found an interesting correlation. I'm going to put this back up on the screen for a second. You know how there's, this whole, masculinity's toxic and men suck and there's 62 genders. You notice how it's that side that doesn't seem to like the country very much anymore? Because Democrats, 36% consider themselves either somewhat or very patriotic, according to Gallup information that was obtainable from a poll around the same time last year, with 92% of Republicans still considering themselves somewhat or very patriotic. So it was interesting to me because I started putting together this data for the show that I did on Monday, and I was like, this would make a good Men Explain Poorly topic, I think.
So I have a question because I know it's not Sunday, but I love math. 64% of Democrats are not proud.
Correct.
Does that number correlate to the number of Democratic households that don't have a father present?
Probably, but that's an interesting point. I might be able to find us an answer to that question now that you've posed it, because I didn't think about that.
But I think the primary reason that 64% hate America is because they hate everything. They can't be happy, and the only time that they are happy is when everyone else is just as miserable as they are. And that's all I'm going to say about it.
And even then, they're not happy because you're not angry in the same way they're angry.
Yeah, so it's interesting though, because this is the other reason why I want to do this topic, because as everybody knows, it's Pride Month again. But I saw somebody who put out an interesting post, because they were like, so first we just wanted to be able to come out of the closet and then we'd be happy. And then we just wanted to be recognized and then we would be happy. Then we just wanted to be able to get married and then we would be happy. And they just kept going down the list. And after reading like the 12th one, I just quote tweeted it and said, narrator, they were never happy. So yeah, it's just this thing. They keep moving the goalposts on what they think is going to make them happy, when in reality, nothing ever does, because as soon as they get what they want, they think they need something else.
Well, that's almost true with any cause, whether it's, we need to have environmentalism to clean up the waterways. Okay, that's done. Okay, well then we've got this engine. Now what's it going to focus on? Well, now it's got to be, we got to get rid of plastic straws. We have to, once you have a stated mission like that, it can creep pretty easily. I mean, who wants to then just walk away? Okay, mission accomplished. We did it. We got what we set out to do. And then who's going to walk away at that point? No, we can make more change. We can make it even better. Even if you're not being cynical, we can make more things better. We accomplished our one goal. Why not go for another? Why not expand?
Mm-hmm.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving would be another one.
Yeah, money comes in and they got to find a new excuse.
Yeah, you have to. Where does the mission creep to next? And I think that's. I don't know how much of that is human nature. I don't know how much of that is just power, but it is unfortunate.
Well, if I can hijack this a moment with a very personal story that corresponds to what Delaney said. My older sister ran for the the House of Representatives out of the state of Maryland, and this was less than 20 years ago. Now, my older sister is gay. She's a Democrat. When she ran, because she lived in Houston, Texas for a handful of years, she was anti-immigration and pro-gun. So, of course, in the state of Maryland, she lost. But since then, she has moved to a state out west, has gotten militant, and is trying to undermine everything. And I'm sitting there going, you were a Democrat I could have worked with just on your anti-immigration and your pro-gun stance. And now I don't even want to admit I'm related to you.
Right.
And she started getting into the organization because of Maryland. She started getting into some of the gay lobbies in DC and other things. And all of a sudden they're like, hey, you would be great at this location. Hey, you would be great in this location, because she's ex-military. She's an ex-E5. So they started pushing her as an agenda to go do here and do this, go do this and go do that. And these organizations have just freaking warped everything. And I haven't talked to her in a handful of years, but right at the end when I told her to go fuck herself, I didn't know who she was anymore. And she was the best man at my first wedding.
That hurts.
Oof. So, Jeff, I suspect you already knew the answer, but I went ahead and tried to look it up anyway. Now there isn't a direct number of the ties, but it's pretty damn close. So if we just look at nationwide, it's basically that there's about there is hang on National Fatherhood Initiative citing U.S. Census data shows about 18.2 million U.S. children, roughly 1 in 4, live without a biological step or adoptive father in the home. Now, this skews a lot further in the other direction when you put in the Democrat numbers, because it's even harder to track because most of them don't even get married anymore, so they don't really track the marriage stuff. So yeah, it's still about 61 to 37%, 61% no father in the home, 37% with. So you weren't too far off.
No, and I was eyeballing the math. I didn't know.
Okay, Rick, I do have a graphic for that. I'm going to send it to you via our chat, and you can go ahead and post it if you want to.
Sure.
Okay. Oh, no, wait, not that one.
One of the other things.
That's not the one you said, I don't think.
No. Hang on.
What's that, Delaney?
One of the other things I think that's going on here is moral relativism.
That one, the one without the text.
And viewing everything through the modern lens.
Hang on. I'll put it on here because you said to, but you bastard.
It's evil, like the fruits of the devil. Evil.
I'm dying. For those of you who can't see it, in case you're looking at the audio version later, box that says "My Dad" and it's empty. Just so.
Ooh.
It's a Funko Pop box. It says "My Dad." There's an invisible figure.
Hey, Delaney, can you bump up your volume a little bit and then continue?
Okay, let's see. I am maxed. Can you not hear me? Am I right?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
It's the moral relativism. It's the and looking at everything through the modern lens. I know of nobody on the right, but I'm sure they exist. But a lot of people on the left will say, "Well, our founders did X, so everything that they did is wrong," because through our modern lens, we say X point of view is abhorrent. Not that and generally they're talking about slavery, not that most of the majority of the founders thought it was abhorrent as well, but it was also the practice of the time. And well, since you participated in that crime, there's nothing about you that's good. Nothing about you can be good. And there's only one standard, and that's the standard of now. And that destroys any connection with your past. And if you have no connection with your past, and you're not getting exactly what you want in the present, then how can you be happy with what the country is?
Yeah. Answer yourself by, say, reparations. The past is forgotten unless it can be used. I don't know, Delaney, if you were listening to Beck this morning, that content thief that he is from me. He made a great note today about that subject you're talking about, that the founders knew they were not smart enough, that they built into their system ways to change it because they knew they were wrong on a handful of things or couldn't accomplish things at that point in time that they had hoped that the country would grow into or just never imagined. So they built into the system a way to change it. So any fallacy that they actually had a way to correct it as time went on when people got more information. But that's not good enough for these people.
Well, it comes down to power, and that's everything now is viewed through the lens of power. That's just that's just the new Marxist lens, and they're going there's a percentage on the right that wants to play by the rules as they were. And I think one of the reasons, and I'm not saying that's wrong, but I think one of the reasons we tend to lose a lot is because we are not willing to meet them where they are when it comes to power. And I don't think we'd be, I don't know. That's tough. The ends justify the means with that. I think that's a slippery slope, but when you don't have a country that shares common values anymore, I don't know where that leads you, and no place good. I don't know how that gets rectified.
Well, yeah, that was one of the things I was talking about yesterday is, the direct correlation between the centralization of our education system and the complete dumbing down of America that led to what I call the death of patriotism. Because these things do go hand in hand. And again, a lot of it is by design because these people have adopted a lot of Marxist communist theories in now high school as well as higher education. And this is the stuff that they want. I talked about this yesterday because somebody pointed out that, even Orwell, who wrote, 1984 was a socialist, but he was still trying to talk about this elite class of people that wanted to yank up the ladder behind them as they converted the world into socialism. And he made the comment, I wish my parents were rich enough that I could be socialist too. And I was like, yeah, there's a lot of truth in that. Because it's like all the people that have already made it, they either want to use the oligarchical system to pull up the ladder or the socialist system to pull up the ladder. And I'm just trying to figure out how to make my own family.
Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to find the damn ladder. What do you?
Right. It's kind of like that old line from Cheers. And I can't. What was it? Norm said that one time. Life is a highway, and I can't find the on ramp. Something like that. Yeah, that kind of feels like me.
It's a dog eat dog world, and I'm wearing milk bone underwear.
That's the other one that's stuck in my head.
That is my favorite. I think a solid argument can be made that we are more of an oligarchy than anything else. I mean, the people's opinion doesn't really matter. Otherwise, we would have, the SAVE Act would be a thing. We'd have far less going out in foreign aid, but we're beholden to NGOs, unions, individuals with deep pockets, corporations with deep pockets. It's man, I'm blackpilling all over the place today, guys. Sorry, I'm a downer.
Well, that's kind of the whole point of this topic because we are more of an oligarchy now, and believe it or not, when they passed the damn 17th Amendment, we became even more of one.
Yeah,
because they removed one of the guardrails.
Mm-hmm.
The house that represented the people was supposed to be the 2-year, the smaller one. The one to make sure the states got a voice was supposed to be the upper house, and that was the Senate. When we made both of them elected by vote of the populace, we became more of an oligarchy in a lot of ways because the states lost a lot of their pushback, their counter approach to what the House wanted to do. And I've been saying for forever now we should repeal the 17th. And there was one time I said that on he said, she said, Nagy's like, can we take the 19th with it? And I'm like, you want us to get rid of the 19th Amendment? She's like, yeah, until we fix what's broken, none of my gender should be able to vote. And I'm like, holy shit.
I think we should just modify the 19th to exclude white women. The world will be a lot better without white women. Yes, I said it. Send all hate mail to the alien at klrnradio.com.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Had to be done.
But
no,
they're all in the cul-de-sac drinking boxed wine. They're easy to find.
I mean, I know
out
one
of
of
this.
Well, I know one of the things they changed a long time ago because there used to be nobody talks about this anymore, but there used to be really strict restrictions on who could actually vote. And the people that were allowed to vote used to be the ones that had skin in the game. The ones that actually owned property or ran businesses because they were the ones that were deciding whether the policies that were passed were going to kill their livelihoods
or wait a minute. Imagine this thought. Actually legally allowed to live in the country to vote.
Yeah, that too. Oh, yeah. If we could just get the illegals off the census for voting purposes, the entire country would change overnight.
I don't understand how that's the thing.
I mean, that's the whole purpose of the 3/5 compromise, was to make sure that black people couldn't be counted in the census, because if they were counted in the census, the South would have ran the country for forever. That was the whole point. We may not like it. We may not like it. It may have been a dirty ass compromise, but a lot of the founders didn't want slavery to be a thing in the original Constitution, but they knew they would never get some of the colonies to sign up with it. So they're like, okay, so we'll do this instead. Because but that's exactly what they've done. That's why I laugh my ass off every time someone, well, the party switched, really? So why are you importing a lesser class that you still wanted to be counted to be able to vote? Because that's the same thing your party did hundreds of years ago.
That's why they took out and right to property and replaced it with pursuit of happiness, because they did not want to embolden the.
Yeah, there you go. G's got it. Implement Starship Trooper rules.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not wrong.
I'm not saying that because I am a veteran. I'm saying that because, like they explained in the book, people are going to vote along a certain line. People. The case that he presented in that book, not in the film. The film was Although it's fun to watch, the film.
Oh God, yes.
Well, the book was awesome. But the film was worth the shower scene.
Yeah. Oh, the shower scene, definitely. If we could have 2 hours of the shower scene, that'd be good. But Team Dina.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. But it was along the line that, a certain group of people who were allowed to vote would vote a certain way because they put the good of the whole against their own personal needs. Now, I don't know if you can do that nowadays. I mean, over the last 50, 60 odd years, with, let's be nice and let's be kind and show your emotions and men can cry and do all this, and the gradual demasculinization that we've been talking about. People don't think like that anymore. People just think about themselves.
I mean,
you've always had that, but when push comes to shove, a person who thinks along the lines of, if we're going to get out of a certain situation, we have to think about the majority. We have to think about what's best for the majority, and we have to stick to that. But how many people are you going to find like that today?
Yeah, there aren't very many. But since this has been explained poorly, let's change the language a little bit. Let's call it what it is: the gradual pussification of America.
Okay, fair enough.
Because
well,
fucking pussies. It's after 10 o'clock. We could say fuck. Okay.
We've been live on YouTube long enough that they won't yell at us for the language.
Going back to relativism, morality is passe. So if there is no moral compass, then who cares? And if everything's relative, then why not just, take what you can and the devil take the hindmost? That's where we are now, which is
obvious everywhere, especially now that we're starting to scratch every rock and find fraud.
Well,
I mean,
not just that. We live in the movie Gladiator, where the mob rules. I still think we have, like, my son went on a field trip on a Sunday for school. I'm still, trust me, I know I'm still struggling with a school-sponsored field trip on a Sunday to a beach, but that's a different story. But he was showing me some of the text messages between the guys, and they were, I mentioned on Vincent's show that, my son was taking a piss detour. What I didn't tell you on the show was they hijacked the bus's speaker system and mentioned it. Like, hey, so-and-so needs to take a piss break. Can we take a piss detour? So
nice.
So
nice.
I think the core is still there, but we have been beaten down in society by so much that we speak up, and the youth try to speak up in the mob of fake intellects. And I'm looking at you, teachers. I know there's a few good out there, but most of you suck ass and can't even operate a fucking printer or know how to put paper in the damn tray. You're not intelligent. You've been trained. You're a monkey who's instructing other. No, not actually how to learn. But they it's not that the thoughts aren't still in the kids. Now it's gone prohibition level, underground, secret safe rooms, safe halls, to where they feel each other out to know, oh, you know what, he's not going to tattle on us. We can invite him into the group. And once they're in the group, to see the conversation, at least in my case, and like I said, I live in liberal ass Vermont, where we keep electing that fucking aardvark New Yorker Bernie Sanders. When I read his private messages, I got to tell you, a lot of it feels like me when I was young in the 80s. They're just now underground.
I don't think it's a case of whether or not they outgrew that the stuff that they believed, when they were teenagers. I know I did. But a lot of people, it's not that they outgrew it, but that they realized that they could make a profit at it. I mean, look at Bernie Sanders. He's the very definition of limousine liberal. I mean,
I would love to have 25% of his homes.
Yeah, exactly. Hang on, did something happen? And I can't hear Rick.
Yeah, I think he dropped out for a second. We can't hear him.
So you guys can't hear me at all still?
Oh, okay.
Now we can.
Fun times. Okay. Yeah, I've been back for a second. I guess there was just some lag. But yeah, anyway. So I'm going to start shutting down tabs. I'm wondering if the weather that was down somebody's way is trying to creep up here.
It is. It's all Delaney's fault.
Just
oh, no, it's Mother Nature's fault. I don't have one of those anymore, so I don't have to worry about that. But I don't recommend if you're still happy with it.
I'm sticking. She's stuck with me.
Yeah, that's what mine used
better
to
and worse, and you're going to test that worse, aren't you?
She cannot trade me in. She didn't get me a Costco.
So in other news, because this just came out, and I didn't
have a good one, GR.
G. Talk to you later, brother.
Thanks for stopping by. Speaking of married dudes, yeah.
Every time I see his name, that Pearl Jam song comes in my head, and I can't help it.
Nice. So in other news, apparently the U.S. Supreme Court is allowing Alabama to use a congressional map favoring Republicans in this year's elections. So take that, fuckers. Because yeah, that was from the AP too, so they were crying when they wrote that one.
Yeah, and as we broke on Vincent Charles, Scott Pelley has been fired. And if you haven't read the letter, that Nick, I can't think of Belita or something like that, put out, it is a masterclass of, and I don't want to say alpha male because I hate that term, but of a superior male putting a inferior lion tiger in its place. Fucking brilliant.
It's like the paw swipe that the alpha gives when the beta acts up, and he just smacks him across the mouth, and then the other guy just slinks away. It is absolutely fucking glorious. I love it.
And I think that gets lost in a lot of conversation because, I mean, well, I don't know about you guys, but I love watching fight videos where, a loudmouth asshole comes in and wants to start something and the other guy, bam, bam, he's down on the ground. I love that shit. But sometimes I just love seeing words executed in such a manner that the recipient of those words are going and crying to their mom, Did you see what he did and said to me?
Oh, it's like that. It's like that Amadeus gif. You know, the one of
Yes.
F. Murray Abraham, the Salieri one, where he like looks up at the sky and throws the sheet music to the ground. That's oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Let me guess. This is how it goes, and now you do that. Okay, yeah, I got it.
I mean, if you guys think we
Master.
have time, I found the letter.
Yeah, master class of just whipping it out, putting it on the table, and making the other guy go cry. It's fucking awesome.
Or wait, I guess this may not be the same letter because this one says, "Dear Mr. Pelly, I meant what I said in my letter last week to the 60 Minutes team. Joining 60 Minutes is the honor of my career, and I'm grateful to be working alongside the people who have contributed to the most important television journalism brand this country has ever produced. While I'm new to 60 Minutes,
5 sentences.
So yeah. Despite yesterday's misconduct, I had hoped that in sitting down with you today, we could find a path forward together. You made clear that you are not interested in such a path. Your antipathy. I don't know why I kept flipping those letters around. To the future of the show has come through loud and clear, and I have heard you. I therefore write on behalf of CBS News Inc. in quotations or in parentheses with quotation marks to inform you that your employment with CBS is terminated for cause effective immediately. Enclosed is your formal termination letter. Sincerely, Nick Bilton, executive producer of 60 Minutes. Ooh.
Yes.
Oof.
That is a public ass kicking without any violence of the physical nature.
That was a verbal beatdown, though, from HR standards. Postscript, take a flying fuck at a rolling donut.
Yes.
Postscript, your mama.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. So I think we actually stayed on topic for longer than we normally do, but I do have a gripe that I wanted to bring up towards the end of the show that's more pop culture related. So we've talked about it. I know Brad and Ordy have talked about it. Amish and
Fuck Stargate.
Yeah, well, no. Fuck MGM. Because I'm pissed off. Dude, I was actually excited because for the first time in forever, it seemed like there was going to be some sci-fi coming out that wasn't going to be trash.
I want you to take it. I want you to take a deep breath. I just want you to calm down for a second. Listen to what I'm telling you.
No.
Titties. You feel better now?
Not really. I appreciate it.
Before you even go on, I got one thing to say to you. I have 16 episodes of Asgard North of what Amazon has done to the Lord of the Rings. I did not want them at all touching Stargate.
But here's the thing: the guy that was writing
No.
I
sat through 16 episodes of Lord of the Rings.
I understand. But that's why Amazon MGM killed it, though, because they didn't feel this iteration of Star Trek was going to be, or Stargate was going to be inclusive enough.
Okay.
So he was actually trying to make good Stargate, and they said no because it's not gay enough. They went the Disney route.
Okay, now you saw what they did with Lord of the Rings. You saw what they did with this. Now just imagine what they're going to do with James Bond.
I mean
James Bond.
They've already tried. They already tried. They had the idea of making a female Bond in the last movie and kind of pulled it back a little bit, and it was kind of a male-female co-star kind of bullshit going on. So. Yeah. Oh.
What last movie?
I don't remember which one it was, but
I don't. Yeah, I don't acknowledge the Daniel Craig films. So yeah.
Well, that's why you don't know about it then. So don't make me feel stupid because you're playing your mind game shit.
So you want to make a sequel to? Okay, look, everyone out here, Amazon, I'm looking at you. I'm a fucking amazing creator of entertainment. If you haven't catched the Friday night show, Curse of Stephanars, please do so, because I create content that is fun. Amazon, you want to do right? You know what you do? You hire a certain 70-year-old former James Bond actor who is now the lead of Bond, and 007 is one of his children, male, from one of his many fuck sessions. Thank you for this TED Talk.
Well, that's a going Indiana Jones in more the way than when Connery was playing Indy's dad, same kind of. So you'd have Brosnan as
Yeah,
senior blind with interesting.
yeah. You can
That'd be an
absolutely
interesting spin.
do this, especially with all the old James Bond novels, knowing what we know. And I'm sorry, half the stuff that took place in the novels still applicable to modern day times because human beings don't fucking learn a thing over time. You can still implement so much of the thing. You get the old Bond tie-in. God, can you imagine bringing and once again because Orty's not here, he's working the polls and not those the other kind. I'll let your imagination pick which one I'm talking about.
Oh, it already has.
The you could even bring back. God, is she still alive? Jane Seymour as the mom.
You could, but what I would do, you can take because there were 2 volumes I think that Ian Fleming published. Not full Bond novels, there were short stories and novellas. And there's like 12 or 13 stories. None of them were ever adapted to film. None of them were ever adapted to video games or anything either. So it's
No.
basically it's virgin territory. All you have to do is find a good screenwriter. I know a good screenwriter. And I might actually just bring it up with him and then tell him, yeah, I'll take 10%.
And if he needs help, I'll help him. Even though Adam's never talked to me, I can help him.
I will tell Adam to get in touch with you then, because that song you came up with fucking Sunday, oh my god. That is I laughed hysterically for almost an hour. My ribs still fucking hurt from laughing over that goddamn song. And we played it at the opening of yesterday's show, and I literally had to bite the inside of my mouth until I drew blood to keep from laughing.
Yeah, I was proud of that song.
Oh my god, it was fucking amazing. And if this man can do shit like that, if you say, okay, write a screenplay, I want to fucking read it. I will give you $10 to let me read it. Seriously.
Yeah, God. Once again, like we were talking about speech with my son's friends, with a lot of you guys, we just have to lift the freaking artificial restrictions on what we're doing. Like, why are we banning in certain cities the 250th anniversary of the greatest country in the history of mankind?
Because
Yeah, I
they're
don't
petty
get it either.
cunts. That's basically what they are. And they're I would love to see it happen because, like Orty, I am chaos incarnate. I would love to see people just get up and just start marching on some mayor's office or marching on a city council's office and break windows and throw things and say, no, I think we will have this fucking parade. And I don't think you have any say about it. And
I know
I would be emotionally erect for months after that happened. Seriously.
And I know we're being a little more political, I think, than we normally are on the show, but we're celebrating America. Let's face it, we dumped tea in a harbor in 1773 and basically teabagged England into losing a war. I am so happy to see the UK apparently grow some balls today. That if they can kneel for a fentanyl addict.
Yeah, they surprised the shit out of me today.
Yeah.
They did.
Holy hell, the testes did drop. Where's that been for 40 years? Which I still can't fathom because, and I can't believe I'm giving them praise. British Special Forces are fucking awesome. I mean, they're not American Special Forces, but they're damn good.
Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. I would love to say I think this is indicative of any trend. I just don't.
I tend to agree with you, but just for a moment, that left nut dropped on some of UK is just kind of impressive to see. You hope it stays down, but I kind of agree, Delaney. I think it's going to rescind back up here shortly.
Yeah, I mean, life across the pond is pretty much done as they used to know it, so I don't have any hope. That's one of
My
the
big
things.
concern there is when it completely falls, then we've got then we got nukes in the hands of lunatics, and that's not going to end well.
Well, I mean, that's the scariest part of all of it. But this is something that I've talked about on the Sunday show that I do every other Sunday. The funny thing is, all these, like in Michigan and all these places, and in Europe, where all the Muslims come out when the prayer call sounds, and they pray publicly in the middle of everywhere where everybody can see it. Interesting thing about that, in the countries they already have control, where
They
Sharia
don't.
law is in place, that's actually illegal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a form of them showing that we already dominate you, and eventually this is going to be you.
It is a dog pissing on the carpet to say we own this.
Pretty much. And Western civilization does nothing but romanticize the whole thing. Oh, look at that hijab! Isn't that so cool? I want one of those. Yeah, try wearing it for 5 minutes.
Well, I mean, most liberal women love it because they're fat and ugly, and it's the easiest way to hide.
Yeah, true.
It's the enemy of my enemy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look, they hate Western Civ. We hate Western Civ. We can be besties.
Mm-hmm. And yet they don't realize they'd be the second ones thrown off the roof.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly. They'll be the first ones against the wall after the revolution.
Yeah.
But they don't get it. So fuck them.
I'm there. I'm there with you. It is. God.
Yeah, it's. I was talking with a friend the other day, and this subject came up, and I'm like, I'm 59 years old. I don't move as well as I used to. I'm about 15 pounds overweight, and I'm old enough to not give any fucks about what happens anymore. And if something happens and I'm forced to act, then you will probably find me dead, but you will probably find me knee deep in a bunch of brass with a whole bunch of motherfuckers around me, not moving. So, I'm okay with that. I'm completely okay with that.
I'm going to go a little personal again, and I apologize for hijacking parts of this. So, I'm coming up on the 1 year.
Of the panel.
I'm coming up on the 1 year anniversary of me flatlining, and truth be told, I haven't been completely healthy since. I've had severe issues. I've been more susceptible to the common cold, the flu, anything else, and working in schools and senior citizens' home. I've been like a petri dish this last year of not being well, and unfortunately, it's impacted my son and his attendance at school. And he just got a letter 2 days yesterday. God, it's Tuesday. I was thinking it was Wednesday already. About possibly losing a credit because of his attendance. And I'm sitting here looking at him, going, "You're pissing about my son's attendance when he has basically an 82% in the class that he's missed 10 times. Okay, he's still passing the class." And then the teacher, the principal's wording is like, we want to make sure our kids are here to learn. And I'm like, okay, when you walk into my son's school, the first thing you see to your left is gay propaganda. Okay. Then the second one you see are the sports teams. Now, I'm a big sports guy. Don't get me wrong. Love seeing it. And then twice a week, they get newsletters sent that include this week in girls' news. If my son is not gay, not in sports, and a son, not a chick, how does he feel welcome in this school? And you're gonna bitch at me that he doesn't attend because he doesn't feel welcome, but yet he's still fucking passing? Do you understand? You are the problem, not the other way around. And so many things that are going on, whether it's political or sports related, even right now with the Major League Baseball contract talks, it is so much passing the blame on someone else to make yourself feel better that if we just fucking quit doing this, 60% of our problems would go away, and I'm probably lowballing that.
Again, personal accountability is passe. So
Yeah, I mean,
they don't, and it's it is sad what education has become. They don't get basic facts right about us. Talking to one of my kids about a history subject, I'm like, that's just not right. I had to go back and show her, like, no, this is what Miss So and So said, and I'm like, hon, let me show you this. I'm like, oh, so you got to be always have to watch because
Question everything.
dude, my kids hated me when they were little because when I figured out that they weren't really teaching history or civics very much anymore in school, and it was just kind of this little thing where maybe they'd do 15, 20 minutes on it every week, I started giving them homework regarding civics and the Constitution and all these different things. And they were mad at me for years. And now they're in their 20s and 30s. And they're like, remember all those times I yelled at you for making me understand this stuff? Thank you. Because everybody around me's fucking retarded. You're welcome.
God, how do I want to say this without sounding egotistical because everything is my son's accomplishments. But I remember COVID and the school struggling to try to figure out a program to get kids educated. And my son hated everything the school was putting out. And I started a stupid little ass podcast to teach him about space science and rocketry. And here he is, basically 10 days away from graduating high school and going into college for nuclear engineering.
And the principal says, hey, you might lose a credit.
Yes. It's not difficult. I am a fucking dumbass in Vermont. And I took the time to educate my son in spare time to make sure he was finding things that he was interested. That's what kills me. In a world where we have everything at our hands reach, we've never been more disconnected as people in my life.
And that's the thing, I've said it before, you have a device in the palm of your hand which can access literally the complete and total sum of all knowledge over the last 5,000 years of civilization, and you're using it to watch TikTok videos.
Yeah, this is fun.
About it. Yeah.
Dude, I have made that point over and over again. In the palm of our hand, we have more computing power and access to information than they had when we went to the moon, and more computing power that was on the damn space shuttle. And y'all want to watch cat videos and TikToks.
Don't be dissing the cat videos. TikTok you can diss. Cat videos.
I will diss fucking cat videos. I don't care.
Oh, and Jeff, you fucked up. It's pronounced nuclear.
Sorry, I'm still trying to learn English and it's not my native language. I apologize.
Dude, don't do that. I had to unlearn so much Okie speak when we moved.
That was my first Simpsons reference of the night. And oh my God, we're almost out of time.
Yeah, it was like too much. That's a Simpsons reference, and it didn't come in until 55. What, 55?
Too much blood is too much blood is erecting my flagpole, so it wasn't in my brain. I apologize.
He's all swollen and distended.
Well, this show escalated quickly. All right, well, believe it or not, we are pretty much out of time, so let's start going around the table. Delaney, where can folks find you, sir, if they should choose to do so? And if you want to
nowhere, because X is stupid. No, except for, of course, every other, or I'm sorry, every Friday when we Christian step in the house. And here, of course. Other than that, no, I can stay off the interrupts.
Nice. And Jeff, where can folks find you when you're not probing?
God, why would you want to? Seriously, make better life decisions and knowing where I'm at. I
don't know,
can't
you're-
even tell you where I'm at.
In your own words, you're a fairly creative individual, so some folks might like to hang around you. I don't know.
Yeah, duh.
Let's see. Thursday night, there might not be a Disasters in the Making. So if that's the case, I might catch up with an episode of Lost Wanderer that I missed Sunday. Friday night, Curse of Stephanos with two of the panelists tonight. My son, Janie Mack, and God, what's his name? The pole dancer, Orty. Yeah,
The Amish one.
The Amish one. We're recording a new episode Saturday. Sunday, I'll be back within the Crease and on Vincent Charles Project. Monday with Aggie and hopefully 8-Bit doing a special makeup of Spirited Books. And then, God, just leave me alone.
You know you love us or you wouldn't do so many damn shows. VC, where can folks find you?
You can find me on Twitter at YesThatVCharles. You can also find me Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Vincent Charles Project. You can find me here Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Men Explain Poorly. You can also find me Friday on the aforementioned Curse of Stephanos with Jeff, Delaney, Orty, Janie Mac, and EP. And we'll be recording another episode this Saturday. And that's pretty much it. Because I'm not as busy as Rick or Orty or Jeff for that matter. So, yeah.
You're busier than me.
All right.
Got that going for you.
Woohoo!
Well, he's busier than you online. You'll be busy as a mofo in that backyard tomorrow.
Moving that mulch.
Giggity, 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 goo.
All right. So as far as where you can find me on X at ReadyRick73. You can follow along with everything we do at KLR Radio on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Rumble's a bit different. You got to find us under America's Podcast Network because for some reason they didn't want me to use that KLR Radio. Don't know why. But we're over there too. You can find me tomorrow at a slightly adjusted time because Monday was an accident and then it worked so well that I'm going to test it one more time. So for tomorrow, the Rick Robinson Show will air from 1 to 3 Eastern if it works. Jeff's about to yell at me because we changed the schedule again, but hopefully he won't yell at me. Well, seriously, like, so when I was doing earlier, I was getting solid numbers, and then I slid later because I was starting to be an insomniac again, and it was a pain in the ass. So when I slid later, the numbers died. So Monday I wasn't feeling well, so I took an extra hour just to make sure I had everything prepped out, and then I had the highest rated show I'd had in like months. So now I'm testing it on Wednesday to see what happens. So yeah, I didn't really want to move either, but if more people pay attention, it's kind of worth it.
Hey, look, if the Circle K moms offer a discount at a different time, you got to adjust your schedule. I get it.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean, that was the secret reason I was an hour later than usual, but I was trying not to say that part out loud, you bastard.
Anyway. God.
All right.
Bad.
So,
I'm sorry.
So tomorrow night,
30 seconds.
tomorrow at 1. And then tomorrow night, we have a double. Well, actually, I'll be working all night again. Son of a bitch, I forgot. So we have Kingdom and Country Bible Study at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have America Off the Rails at 8 p.m. Eastern because G's on his summer hiatus.
G is a slacker.
We'll have Behind the Enemy Lines, where I'm usually sitting third chair at 9 p.m. Eastern. And then Rick and Orty back at 10 p.m. Eastern. And then that's it because Edge of Liberty's on hiatus for a while as well. So I'll be live all night tomorrow and next week too, and the week after, and the week anyway. Sorry.
If Orty's not too tired from pole dancing tonight.
Well, this is true. He is pole dancing, so he may need a break. Or he may be crying in his beard, depending on how some of those elections go. I don't know. But yeah, so and then Thursday, I'm usually pushing buttons for the folks over at Disasters in the Making, but I just found out apparently there may not be one of those. But there may or may not be a Jen and Rick. It's summertime, and we've been hit and miss because bugs in baseball mode and everything else. So I don't know if there will be or not. And then Friday, either at the normal time if this change doesn't work, or at the new time, Rick Robinson show, and then Weekend News Roundup, and then He Said, She Said is at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and then I am technically off on Saturday. And that's pretty much it. Just for everything else, check the schedule, because BZ's already started and half of you aren't paying attention anymore anyway, because hopefully you're over there listening to him. So have a great night, everybody, and we'll be back hopefully next week. And yeah, hopefully California doesn't continue to slide off the shelf into the Pacific Ocean. I guess we'll find out later tonight. Bye, everybody.
To quote Admiral Stockdale, why am I here?
We've got time. We've got theories that sound.
I prefer quoting Admiral Akbar. It's a trap.
I gotta combine the two into a song.
We've skimmed the page, been wrong before, but never afraid. We'll tell you why, we'll tell you when, we'll tell you how, again